This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
Well, welcome back, everyone. It is the thing that gets in our way, sometimes pilots us. It's called fear. We all have it. We deal with it on a regular basis, whether you realize it or not. How do you get past that? And how do you find the courage to make changes in your life, to do certain things that you fear? We are going to talk about that. And she's got some deep insight on that as a life coach, helping people transform their lives all the time. I love how she gets to it, like the point where it's very understandable. Cindy Valente is back with us. How are you doing today?
I'm good, Steve. How are you? It's great
Very
to be
well.
here.
Yeah, it's good to have you back here. Um, the fear thing is real, isn't it? Isn't that really, as life goes on, myself and hearing things, studying things, that's really what's holding us back from it. Just pretty much everything, isn't it?
Uh-huh. We're going to work on that today.
Thank you. If we need to. Where do we begin with that?
Well, first of all, it's one of my very favorite quotes. It was not my quote. It may sound familiar to you. The Duke, John Wayne.
Okay.
This was his comment. Great TV cowboy. So that's exactly what we're here to do today, is saddle up, face our fears. Take the leap and explore what it really means to saddle up in life every single day. It's so simple, but so true. Because let's be honest, we all get scared. All of us do. Fear doesn't mean you're weak or unprepared or not good enough. It just means you care. It means something matters to you. Because what's on the other side is so worth it.
He really said that?
He did not. I did, but he said the show title, Saddle Up, being scared to death and saddle up anyway. That was John Wayne.
But it really is true. You're not going to make any progress.
It's simple and true.
Right. Are we having a Wi-Fi connection here? It looks like you might be like
we are.
Like I'm thinking that. I was thinking that. Because you look fine over here.
I didn't know if it was just you or me.
I don't know. I think it's
it's a little delayed.
Okay. Where do you find the courage within to saddle up?
So, first of all, because we talk about fear so often, I wanted to kind of take that first. Courage and fear often coexist. Fear is the raw material from which courage is made. Want me to say that again?
Please.
Fear is the raw material from which courage is made. So think about it this way. Fear tells us what matters. Courage is choosing to face it rather than to run. So it kind of simplifies it. I mean, it kind of puts it into context and takes away the anxiety of the whole thing. And every story shows courage in everyday life.
Would you say?
So let's think about it.
Fear
go ahead.
is like you're fine on this side. I don't know if there's, your Wi-Fi is wonky today. But like I would not even know.
I could
you
be.
You paused a few seconds. Is fear, could you look at it this way? Fear is like a pile of clay in front of you. And then what you do with that clay is you mold it and you shape it and you make this beautiful sculpture called courage.
Right. And then, but you chip away at it. I mean, finding out the premise of the fear so it doesn't become overwhelming. If you can find, we all know, it's kind of, we all know what the problem is. Let's go to the solution. So we know we have the fear. Where is the fear coming from? What is the fear? And, have to step back and think, okay, what is this and what is the solution? And it's kind of, and you're example is perfect because it is bringing all the pieces together, but then kind of pulling it away and chipping away at it. Kind of like, I know we've all heard the phrase, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. That's kind of a good way to realize where your fears are stemming from and how are you going to saddle up? How are you going to face that fear? And have it be a problem solution. So there's a solution and then you can move on.
I've heard that elephant thing before, and when I first heard it,
I know.
I laughed at it like, but the more you think about it, it really is true. And how do you realize that you have true courage? It's by looking at your past and realizing what you did. Oh, I got through that. You got through that. You got to you go back to your childhood
Right.
from that point forward, right?
Yeah, I mean, truly, it's we all face it every single day, all the time, but not allowing it to overtake our lives. Just like a bad moment doesn't mean it's a bad day or a bad life. It just means that this is the moment and stop and address it. And I know sometimes I think we all get caught up in we get so anxious about it that we don't take a breath, take a moment to say, all right, let's just get through this. And it would be, I wish I would have done that a long time ago and just kind of take a step back, take a deep breath and get through these moments because it really is, it can be very simple if it doesn't overwhelm, if you don't let it overwhelm yourself. Let's talk about some personal courage in everyday life because we all have it. We all have those aha moments. We also have scared to death moments. But some courage in everyday life. You leave an abusive relationship. That takes gigantic courage. Starting a new career, maybe later on in life, like I did, or speaking up against justice. These moments don't feel heroic at that moment, but in fact, they feel very terrifying. But so courage can be very personal, but not less significant. So whatever it is that is your scared to death moment, it may be to someone else is very simple. This is no big deal, but it's you going through it. It's a big deal. I mean, I know for me, if it's me going through it, it's my big moment
Mm.
and I have to get through it. I mean, I can't, got to rely on yourself to get through these situations.
But you only have one thing to rely on, and that's you, ourselves, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. I mean,
Hey,
you can think you have others to rely on, but you'll be sorely mistaken or disappointed.
yeah, yes, a billion percent. And that's not to say that you can't rely on somebody to help you along the way, but ultimately, nobody's going to take care of you. Nobody's going to love you better than you.
Right.
And until you realize
Yeah.
that, you're going to be, reaching out for things to stand on, lean on, and it's okay to have somebody to lean on occasionally, but it starts with you, and that's a tough one to swallow
Right.
because nobody's going to give you courage. They could say things to you, but
Right.
unless you believe them, it's not going to work.
And they might not even have your best interest at heart because everybody wants themselves to succeed. I mean, I know everybody wants to support somebody else, but at the end of the day, we all are here for ourselves and we should be.
Hmm.
It doesn't mean we're selfish. It just means that we need to take care of ourselves first.
Yeah. So
Give
what do you?
ourselves our own courage.
Oh, I was just going to go there. How do we ultimately find courage? Let's say you're faced with something. You got to, in the face of adversity, you got something coming up. You're fearing it, which is normal. How do you find the courage to pilot through?
Well, here's something that I find very interesting, and I love that I came across it. I'd love it to be my own personal thought, but the nervous energy we feel in the being scared to death moment, it's not fear. Think of it as excitement, just waiting for you to unleash it. And I think our fears are all things that we know we could be, we fear something that we know a change is coming. And I think that's where the fear lies in between where we are and where we need to go. And if we can look at it with a mindset approach of let's unleash this, unleash it, Be excited about it. Take the fear away. I love that. I think that that's a big deal. And
Mm.
also, surround yourself with people who remind you who you are, not who you fear you aren't. And that goes back to take care of yourself.
I want you to say that again because that sounds reasonably important.
Surround yourself with people who remind you who you are, not who you fear you aren't.
Hmm. It's hard to find those people, though.
It is. They're out there.
Yes, they
And this
are.
goes back to, if you're the smartest one in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Hmm. So true. I think it's Sir Isaac Newton once said that what you know is a drop, what you don't know is the ocean.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when we talk, it's what we already know. When we learn is when we listen.
I'm listening. um, do you
So think
find
about something that scares you to death right now. What if you saddled up anyway? What if it's making that phone call that you didn't want to make, making that big decision, a dream you've been putting off? What if you just saddled up, scared you to death, saddle up? How does that feel? How would that make a difference in your life in that moment? And it would be a more condensed moment if you just take, all right, here's the situation. How am I going to saddle up? Okay, here we are. Let's go. Let's do this. Instead of dwelling on it or making a bigger deal out of it than it really is. It's not a mountain. It doesn't have to be a mountain.
Isn't it interesting once
We just
you reframe it and look at a situation in a different way? I don't know if I shared. I used to be afraid of blood tests. Like I would just like I put it off. I was like, routine. Yeah, I got it coming up. Yeah, make an appointment online, right? And then day before, I'm like, I'll cancel. I'll put another week. Cancel. Wait another week. And once had a bad experience. I almost passed out. Whatever. And I would worry about it. And then I reframed it, had some medical stuff going on, nothing super major, needed some labs and everything. And this is in the past year, by the way. This is not, this is fresh. And I reframed it where I don't look at it as it worries me anymore. It's more of I look at it as, well, I'm going to get some information. I'm going to take that information and use it. Maybe I need to make a tweak
Mhm.
in health. Maybe I don't. And the other part is it's going to sting for a second and then it's 20 seconds and then you're done. So I'm like, I wonder if it's going to hurt today. Let me see. Right? It's almost like a game. Like I flipped it to the point where it's like, I don't care anymore. Yeah, yeah, bring them on in right now. Let's go. I don't care.
Don't you
But
think
I
the
used to.
anticipation is worse than the actual event?
Yes. And in that case, 100%, it was the anticipation, but then it was the fear of, well, how am I going to deal with it today? Am I going to get queasy? Am I going to pass out? Am I going to blah, 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 blah. Classic what if. We're looking
Right,
to the future. You don't know what's going to happen in the future. Nothing did
right,
from that. So, but
right,
it's
right.
it's the mindset though. If you can take a look at, just before you're going to saddle up and look at it in a different way, like go with the horse and the John Wayne analogy. I'm going to saddle up, I'm going to jump on the horse, and I'm going for a ride
Mhm.
in a direction I've never really been in. I wonder how that's going to be. Let's go find out. Let's go explore, as opposed to I'm afraid riding this horse. I'm afraid to get up on the horse. I'm afraid of all of that. It's the mind. It's not easy, but I think it's also the mindset. How you.
Right. No, it's totally the mindset, and I always think I don't like giving blood either. I never watch. But I always think that they should put a poster of something really fabulous to look at on the wall that I would look at. Because, you're usually, I mean, in a very small room when you're giving your blood, and there's plenty of wall space. And I always say, why don't you put something really fun to look at? But
Mm.
they just giggle and don't change it.
Well, okay, let's,
But that would help.
I agree. We open the door. So look at when you walk into that room. You have these vials all set up. You have this chair that looks,
Right.
like you're getting tortured. And to your point about that poster,
Right.
the two arms, the poster, I did a heart stress test on the treadmill, and you got to run, and you got to run, and back then, this is like 2 years ago. I was like, am I going to be able to do it? I'm in decent shape. Like, what if I get queasy and like pass out or whatever? But there was right in front of the treadmill a tropical, beautiful looking picture. And I'm not even kidding. I even said to the text there, I'm like, it's just I'm looking at this thing and I'm picturing myself there. It was a game changer. So to your point, they need to do
Mhm.
murals on walls and things like that.
Right, because it's very sterile. And it's charts and you do walk in and see everybody else's vials of blood, and I don't like it either. That's why I don't watch. So maybe I should just take in my own screensaver or something.
Yes. And what would also change it for me is the mindset, but also the day that it flipped for me, I had a conversation with the phlebotomist. And I say, listen, telling you right now, I'm a baby, a little nervous, blah, blah, blah. And we started talking about basically what you and I are talking about, how people pilot their lives forward. We were talking about even energy and things like that. And it was almost as if she was thrown there in front of me to get my mind off of it. But it did. And then that also changed it up. So maybe the conversation, but either way, the fear is real. You can't get away from it, no matter what it is, right?
That's exactly right. But like you were saying, I mean, think of it as it's a positive. It's a moment of uncomfortable, but the positive is what are the results going to be? And you look forward to this is an opportunity for a good mindset shift of I'm going into this for all the right reasons, go with the flow.
Hmm.
But I know I don't like it either. I get
Gotcha.
it.
So the courage thing, any other thoughts that you have to help us find that strength?
Yeah, I do. So saddling up anyway means make the call, send the message, walk into that room, hand shaking, voice trembling, but do it anyway. These are the moments where you've got to take yourself from this is not okay to this is okay. And it's a quick and it really does shift your mind because that's all you're thinking about, how I'm going to get through this. And saddling up anyway means I was wrong or I need help because asking for help is sometimes the bravest sentence we ever speak. So those are positive things that can come from an uncomfortable situation. Saddling up anyway means taking one small step instead of waiting to feel ready, because
Mm.
ready rarely comes.
Well, asking for help, there's many reasons why we don't. And I believe one of those
Right?
reasons is that we're afraid to burden somebody with our
Right.
our challenges, but we forget that it's a beautiful thing to ask somebody for help because you're helping them. They feel good helping somebody else. We don't look at it that
Right.
way, right?
And we've talked about that though. I mean, we all feel better when we help somebody out, regardless of if it's a small holding the door open for somebody or complimenting somebody. I mean, it's a big deal, and I think that we all can sometimes go through, our day and just kind of put our head down or get involved in what we're doing. But, it really does matter. Get out there, help somebody, and it will truly change your perspective on your day,
How can
and no, go ahead.
I'm sorry, we're stepping on each other because of the connection.
Uh, I know, right?
Not bad though. It's all good.
It's true.
How can you
So go
help
ahead.
someone get over fear, find courage, find resilience?
I think it's truly going back to taking very small baby steps and getting to instead of you lost in the moment of the frustration, the anger, or whatever the situation is, go take a step back and go, why am I feeling this way? What led me to believe, that this is the situation? And was it somebody that said something to you? I mean, it could be that simple, or was it a gesture, or you just started out, you didn't have a good night's sleep. I mean, all those things can affect a positive outcome in your outlook. But I really believe that if you not rush it, that's not what I'm saying, but try not to dwell on the why I'm so scared to death. Just be like, all right, I'm scared to death. Now what am I going to do about it? And try to shift into the positive format of getting through that moment. I really think it can be condensed. It can be very simple. And I'm not trying to simplify it, but I think it can be simple in that just get over. It's like you're spinning in a tornado. You put one leg out and it stops it. Step out of the situation you're in. And I mean, step out, like go outside, get some fresh air, or start writing, change up whatever it is that you're doing, move, like we talked a while back, go do 10 jumpy jacks or something, change what you're doing, because it can perpetuate, it can manifest into something far greater than it's ever meant to be. And then your brain starts going crazy with, it was a little thing when you first started thinking about it, and then you brought all this cluster, and it's not necessary. Stop the brain from overload. Change what you're doing. And I think that's the easiest simplified way to, I think, shift your mindset into saddling up and moving on, facing the fear.
And acknowledging that you have a fear. Don't sweep it under the rug.
Right.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Right.
No, it's okay to acknowledge it. Just about out of time today. Closing thoughts. Got any?
I do. So as we are all going through our day, remember this. Being courageous doesn't mean being unafraid. It means being scared to death and doing it anyway. Prove to yourself that you are stronger, braver, and more capable than you ever believed you could be. Saddle up and show yourself what you're made of.
Beautifully said. It is. And it works. You know what?
And it works.
You just brought back a memory to last Thursday. And I had a couple of biopsies. I've been dealing with skin cancer forever. And I didn't know I was going to get them. So I'm sitting there at the dermatologist, like, well, we should do this and we should do that. And the part of me is like, well, I don't really do that today. And I'm like, just go for it. Do it. And what's part of the fear? Is it going to hurt? I didn't feel anything. I'm almost laughing at it. It's like, he froze this, he, cut that. I'm like, you done? That's it? Like, it's like,
don't ask for trouble where it doesn't go.
A lot of it's in our head. Best way to find you, Cindy. How do we do that?
Website, cindyvalente.com, and my Instagram and TikTok and LinkedIn are all linked to my website. So please reach out. I'd love to hear from the listeners and DM me, and I'd love to hear about what scares you to death and how you saddled up.
I love that. Yeah, if you want to share, even anonymous, that's fine too. Your journey and what fear you had and the courage that came with that. We'd love to hear it. Even instant feedback, steve@gmail.com, another way to reach us. Thank you for today. I think this is a conversation that we all needed to hear.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. It was a good time.
Likewise. We'll be right back.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.